In the summer of 1964, many young people traveled to Mississippi to help black citizens register to vote. This moment was called Freedom Summer. It was dangerous work because racist groups, especially the KKK, tried to stop anyone fighting for black rights. 3 of these volunteers, James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner, were murdered. Their deaths shocked the whole country, and what happened showed that white sympathy was much stronger when white people were killed than when black people were. James Chaney, 21-year-old black man from Meridian, Mississippi, member of CORE, which is the Congress of Racial Equality, and he also helped with voter registration in freedom schools. Andrew Goodman, 20-year-old white college student from New York. He had just arrived in Mississippi that same day to help with voting rights. Michael Schwerner, 24-year-old white CORE organizer, also from New York, helped build freedom schools and worked directly with black communities in Mississippi. On June 21st, 1964, the 3 men drove from Meridian to Longdale in Neshoba County. They were checking on Mount Zion Methodist Church, which had been burned down by the KKK. The church was supposed to host a freedom school to teach black children and adults about voting rights. On their way back to Meridian, they were stopped by Deputy Sheriff Cecil Price in Philadelphia, Mississippi. He arrested them on a fake charge. He kept them in jail for hours, long enough for the Klan to gather. Late that night, he released them, followed them, and handed them over to the mob. On a dark road outside Philadelphia, near Rock Cut Road, the 3 men were shot and buried in a dirt dam. When the 3 men went missing, the federal government reacted quickly. This time, 2 of the victims were white, and suddenly the whole country cared. The FBI started a huge investigation called Mississippi Burning. For weeks, teams searched swamps, woods, and farms. During the search, bodies of other black people who had been killed earlier were found, but their deaths had barely received any news coverage. Many black people had been murdered in Mississippi long before Freedom Summer, but most of the country paid little attention. This time was different. The deaths of 2 white men, Goodman and Schwerner, made white Americans suddenly feel connected to the violence.
Mississippi, with one of the young men who disappeared so tragically, is a constituent of mine, and I'm interested in looking into that situation too.
The country finally saw that racism was not just a Southern problem. It was a national crisis, and it took the death of 2 white volunteers, along with James Chaney, to wake the nation up. The murders of Chaney, Goodman, and Schwerner shook the entire nation. News reports showed the danger facing civil rights workers and millions of Americans, especially white Americans who had never paid attention before, were outraged. This pressure helped push Congress to finally act. Just weeks after the murders, lawmakers passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed segregation in public spaces and banned discrimination in employment. But the fight wasn't over. The violence in Mississippi, including these killings, made it clear that black citizens were still being blocked from voting. This outrage helped build momentum for another major law, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which protected black voters and put federal oversight in states with histories of discrimination. The murders of Chaney, Goodman, and Schwerner helped push the civil rights movement forward. Their deaths helped lead to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But their story also teaches us something painful. America paid closer attention when white people were killed, even though black people had been suffering the same violence for years. Remembering this helps us understand both the progress made and the unequal value society placed on different lives.